Welcome back to Shem's Universe. So today, guys, we're going to go over how each rising sign achieves success. So each rising sign is successful in very different ways, because what you have to understand is your rising sign is the most important sign to you out of your big three, meaning your sun, moon, and of course the ascendant, the rising. The ascendant or the rising, whatever you want to call it, is definitely the most important sign to you by far. And it will actually give you the ability to know, like, for one, like what career you should have, what your fate's like each year, each month, each week, each day. You're able to actually know how to adapt to it, because it's your rising sign that goes through the transits that then foretell how your life is going to go. But as a whole, you should also be looking at your rising sign like a semi-life path to you as well, meaning it'll give you clues on how to accomplish your actual life path number. That's what a lot of people don't realize. Very similar to what we determine in Pythagorean numerology, like the expression number. The rising sign's the same sort of thing. It tells you about your natural skill sets and natural drawbacks, and then using that, you can weaponize it and in turn become very, very successful, because you'll know what career to use, you know how to interact with people, you know where you stand in a sociological standpoint. So let's start off with Aries. So Aries is a rising sign to begin with. It's definitely supposed to be a leader. Aries is supposed to be an entrepreneurial person. It's supposed to be somebody who takes charge in social settings, who's the initiator, who has that cardinal energy, and who brings upliftment to other people. So it's supposed to be the fearless warrior. So whether you're a man or a woman with Aries as a rising sign, you should have that sort of archetype that travels with you, where people look at you and say, yeah, this person is fearless. This person gets things done. They're always, I shouldn't even say fearless, but courageous, because you have to do things despite fear. But this person, so I'll rephrase it, is courageous and they get things done. They're the person that will do what other people won't, and they always take the initiative, and they're always willing to lead when other people are not willing to lead. So that's a big thing. The next one would be like Taurus for a rising sign. Taurus is money, money, money. Now, if you have a Taurus rising sign, I'd say you have a very, very peculiar chance of getting rich. Taurus here means that you harmonize things. Venus is the governor of Taurus, and so Taurus is able to bring forth cooperation, diplomatic means to people, whether that be through groups, factions, or just in partnership base. Taurus is able to do things that they can either work for a company or they can work for themselves, but whatever they do, it's almost like they create almost their own little mini family through doing it. Like they know how to really harmonize people together in a very interesting way. A lot of popular careers for Taurus rising, I'd say, would be like interior design, wedding planning, therapists, psychiatrists, medical practitioners as a whole, musicians, artists, all of these things, because those things all result around bringing harmony to either something tangible or intangible. So the main thing with Taurus rising is think of what you can bring harmony to, and that's the key to where your wealth will come from. The next one is Gemini rising. Gemini is fairly obvious. Everybody kind of knows Gemini is an archetype of being kind of sleazy, these guys that are just very two-faced and all this other stuff. I'm a Gemini myself, so I'm not talking down on Geminis at all. Well, I'm a Gemini sun, not rising, I'm Virgo. But yeah, with that being said, Gemini rising, if you're a Gemini rising person, your main your main thing should be this. You should be making money through your communication, or when I mean communication, I mean through verbal or writing. One of the two need to make you rich. Whether you're a book writer, you want to be a journalist, you want to be somebody who's a commentator, like you should be making money by the means of either more than one business endeavor, meaning you have multiple streams of income, or you're the person that uses like a skill set, like if you have a passion for writing or for speaking, and then you utilize that into your career, whether that be through working for a sales corporation, or you get into things like advertising, marketing for certain corporations. It all depends on what you want to do, but you should be using your throat chakra, or at least your creative mind through writing, to make you the essence of your money. You'll have a legacy of that as well, and you'll know whether or not that's true through which house your rising sign ends up in. Next one would be Cancer. Cancer as a rising sign is great. It makes you very financially competent naturally. To achieve success as a Cancer, for one, you want to tap into your own psychic clairvoyance. So you want to really be comfortable with your own intuition, your own gut feeling about things. That'll bring you a lot of completion. And you also want to get into different careers that revolve around like financial institutions, like banks and even government. Work very well for Cancer people. and also things to do with like healing other people as well. So whether if you get into things like the justice legal system is great, But the healing occupations, like being a chiropractor, physiotherapist, even somebody like what I do, like being an astrologist, a reader, things like that will work out very well for you, and you'll attract a lot of customer base just because you're genuine and you're actually meant to be a healer in this society. The next one will be Leo rising. Leo rising is always interesting because Leos are so performance-based. Like Leos have to be noticed. If you're a Leo person, you kind of hesitate, like you have this dream in your head of being noticed, but you don't do anything about it. You're completely going against the grain of what your rising sign's all about. Remember, this is called a rising sign. It's literally telling you here's how you go up in life, right? That's why I said it's the most important thing you should know. So with your ascendant being Leo, you need to have a career that's going to be making you noticed, whether you're on social media, whether you are on stage like Broadway, whether you're playing in movies, whether you are an athlete, all these things. But what you should be doing is you should be saying, what is my skill set and how do I market it or advertise it to the largest set of people possible? Usually that's via the internet nowadays, but it depends on what niche market you're in. That can expand to other things as well, for sure. But yeah, that's pretty much it. For Leos, it's all about being performance-based and figuring out how you can actually bring what you know to the front page. Virgo rising, this is mine now. Very interesting one. Virgo rising is very good for analytical skills. So I'm like an avid researcher. I'm sure everybody that has Virgo rising is very avid at like researching and likes to, maybe not necessarily likes to read necessarily, but if they find something that they find interesting, they'll probably read up on it a lot and obsessively until it becomes like almost like zealotry. So Virgo rising people can be a bit nitpicky, like they're very, very selective, very critical as well. Watch out for that. But how you rise in life is by using your analytical skills, your research abilities, and applying that to an occupation, whether you decide to be like a scientist, stockbroker, I do crypto, like things that revolve around analytics are very good. But I know a lot of Virgo risings are also like engineers, mechanics, what have you, right? It all revolves around what you're interested in, because you'll notice the minuscule details that other people won't, and that's what's going to give you your leverage to make more money than your competitors. Whether you work for a business or by yourself is up to you. Libra is next. Libra is another great one for sure. Libra for sure is definitely about the legal system. It's the scales. It's so obvious. When you're a Libra rising person, you're meant to bring justice to the world in some sort of way. That's your archetype. So how you complement this matrix, this world, through being a Libra rising, is you can work in legal fields like arbitration, being a lawyer, paralegal, but you can also do things like being a mediator or somebody who even just brokers deals, even like certain real estate agents, things like that, still work out well for you guys. But moreover, if you go into like the justice department or something to do with actual legalities, even politics, you'll see that for one, Saturn exalts in your sign, you'll see that your status just goes up very, very quickly because you're meant to be there. Next is Scorpio. Scorpio is such a dark and interesting one, and people always misconceive like what I mean when I say Scorpio risings like have a bit of like industrious careers. I can't speak fully on what Scorpio risings will do on this. If you are Scorpio rising, just DM me. But I'll say a few things. So Scorpio rising people, you have to understand, Scorpio deals with like the sexual organs. So you guys probably put two and two together. If you're an adult, you could probably read between the lines of what I'm saying. They can do things surrounding sexuality that will, whether it's legal or illegal, they'll make them a lot of money. Scorpio, unlike Leo, is very, very successful. But excuse me, Leo's very successful as well. But unlike Leo, they don't need to be on the front page. I mean, they don't care about, oh, everybody knows I have the Lambo, everybody knows I'm rich, everybody knows I have the skill set. Scorpio person can just own a junkyard, be making billions a year, and just say, yeah, who cares? I own 50 junkyards. Who cares? Who cares who knows my name? I just have all the money and the power, and I'm a lobbyist, and I'm manipulating politicians and whatever. Scorpio is great, right? Like, it's very powerful. For one, you got to get in touch with your intuition. And then two, you got to control your emotions when you're a Scorpio, because Scorpios can have extreme anger. Unlike most water signs who are more like emotional, blah, 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 Scorpios are more so prone to just direct temperament anger. So you want to make sure you just chill that out and you can control it and have that poker face and chess-like mind. Then you become Machiavellian, then you get things done. As a Scorpio rising person, career options is things that people don't want to do. So like forensic science, criminology, the people that deal with like the crime scene cleanups, 911 dispatch, and then there's other sexual components that make Scorpio risings a lot of money. You have to start looking at things like, don't want to say certain things on this, but owners of certain explicit sites have Scorpio rising. Just use your head for that. Next, Sagittarius. Sagittarius rising is interesting as well. Much brighter than Scorpio for sure. Sagittarius is always the teacher, it's the coach. They like to uplift people through intellectualism. So when I see Sagittarius, it's always, you have to find what you're passionate about intellectually, either become a professor, a teacher. You can get into politics very well as well. You guys are very much into other cultures and figuring out like the details, just like with Virgo, about different topics. But you guys are the people that like to inform other people about what you've learned. Virgos will just directly apply it. They don't care about teaching it, not so much. But you guys really care about teaching it and then broadening your horizons. And it's almost like you guys are in infinite school with your whole lives. Like post-secondary is the most advantageous to people with Sagittarius rising. But you guys can also work in educational systems as well, work with special needs people, work with delinquents, work in prison systems, all these things. But you guys are meant to help uplift people, similar to Aries, another fire sign, but you do it in a way of, like I said, bring forth knowledge to people. That's your main thing, is what knowledge do you want to give to society that's going to provide value? The more value that has is the more money you're going to make. It's as simple as that. Capricorn is next. Capricorn rising is all about learning about hierarchical systems through Saturn, militancy, timing, all of these things. Capricorn I find best in like very strict things like military, athletics, anything to do with sports whatsoever. Capricorn's actually great for. You guys are very sturdy, you guys are ready for that. But also even just things like entrepreneurship is very, very, I'd say, necessary for Capricorn people. If you're working in a corporation, you need to get to a managerial level. You're much similar to like the Life Path 8, where being I would say being micromanaged is just not going to do it for you. Like you have to be always moving up the ladder, or you're just going to find yourself stagnant and just depressed. So make sure you get into something where you actually find fulfillment within that company, or just develop your own thing. A lot of Capricorn people get into financial systems as well, the same way Cancers do, or corporate situations. But I find Capricorn underestimates themselves too much, and that in turn leads to their demise. What you want to do is figure out what you want to do. I'd say things to do with the internet, the electronics, particularly with Capricorn. What I'd say is things to do with stock trading specifically is very advantageous to you. If you're a Capricorn rising, DM me about. There's other tricks that you should know about that as well, and other side hustles that I'm not going to bring up here. Aquarius is next. Aquarius rising, you guys are the innovators, you guys are the inventors. Everybody knows the fixed air sign, geniuses, Saturn representative, or Uranus, however you want to look at it from the astrological standpoint now. So you guys are the best. Joking, everybody's the best. But Aquarius is very, very good when it comes to inventing new things. And it's like the genius rising sign. So you guys are meant to like use technology to make money. So that could be anything from TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, marketing, e-commerce, Amazon, crypto, what have you. But you guys are meant to use the digital world that we're in. This is your age. You guys have the most power. You guys have the most leverage and the most powerful rising sign in this age that we're in right now. You need to use technology to make you your money. So you shouldn't even have to leave your house to make money if you're an Aquarius. Like that should be enough an explanation for you. Last but not least, we have Pisces, most adaptive sign by far, similar to the number 9. Piscean people can do very, very well because they know people very well in sociology, psychology, economics. So anything to do with like political parties that deal with like educational reform, financial reform, different private sector places that deal with like the banks and things of this nature. But very specifically, like as a Piscean person, if Pisces is predominant with you as a rising sign, you have a lot of its traits that you feel like it's distinct for you. You should work with people, interact with people in a way in which you're helping them, very similar to Cancer. If you do that, you're going to find that you get to the top of your field very quickly and you become respected and renowned, and in turn, wealth comes your way. All right. So that's the full synopsis with these rising signs. Obviously, that's very just small jot notes on each. If you have more questions, guys, leave it in the comments section for me. Aside from that, like, subscribe. Holla at me. It's it for today, guys. Peace.